Welcome to a very important and special session with a dear friend who's also an esteemed colleague, death doula, teacher, student, most importantly, perhaps, Sierra Campbell. Welcome to this session. I'm so happy that we got to do this together.
Thank you, Elena. It's so good to be here. Thank you.
We've been friends for somewhere in the vicinity of 15 to 20 years. We have great mutual respect for one another. I would love to start this session by inviting those of us who are caring for those who are not well, those of us who will someday not be well, those of us who are caring for someone who is in a dying process, those of us who will one day be in a dying process. We are all welcomed here. And I think to start, I'd like to take just 1 minute of quiet just to land us, about 5 breaths. So please join us. You can keep your eyes open or closed. I want to welcome you here. And we're just going to take a few breaths to get grounded. These I find are the most important moments of the session. Thank you so much. Thank you. I have been tracking and learning with Sierra for a number of years. Sierra was my mother-in-law's death doula. She took this on as a gift to myself and to James. And so in Lou was her name, her process of coming to terms with the fact that she was going to be expiring within about a year or so. In her planning for this peaceful exit from this earthly plane, Sierra was absolutely crucial, pivotal in our process, in our shared process of this family, to bear witness, to ease her mind, to make her passage more comfortable, and to really be creative and create what she wanted for the end of her life. It was a profound experience. I am forever grateful to you, Sierra, for that. I know Lou is too, and I'm knowing that James is as well. Maybe he'll come and make an appearance. What you are doing now, I think, is the most important work on the planet, to help people die in a thoughtful and meaningful way. You have created an organization called Choose Nurture, also known as Nurture, in which you begin by introducing people into these conversations that are really important to have, that are highly uncomfortable. And now you are actually causing circumstances for the successful completion of death doula certification to help so many thousands of people become more comfortable with the prospect of the death of their loved ones and their own death. And we are here to first touch upon a quick text that I shot off to Sierra 2 weeks ago. And I said, "Hey, Sierra, I need some thoughts on tips for caregivers." A friend is asking, and also I'm giving a presentation. And I said, "Okay, wonderful. I'm just going to text her." And she writes, "Oh dear, I just put it up on Substack. 5 tips, 5 radical shifts, in fact, for the caregiver who is tired of being told to just breathe." Sierra, a huge welcome to you.
Thank you, dear. Thank you for
so
having me
much. Thank you for
and
your
having this
time.
conversation and honoring and acknowledging this work, this learning, the study of end of life is the study of living this life fully. And it is the work of our time.
Yes.
This is my 30th year. Last weekend, I turned 46 and I stepped into a nursing home 30 years ago for my first job as a certified nurse assistant. And so I'm really celebrating 3 decades of this and grateful,
Yeah. Your
grateful
experience
for
means everything to all of us here. So I want to jump right into these 5 radical shifts for the caregiver. We'll go over these, and then I would like to talk about the course that I am about to take, that several of us are about to take, starting in 1 week. First, and this might be the most important paragraph of the whole post, but I'm going to read your words if that's okay, Sierra.
Please do, yes.
The truth is, caregiving isn't a series of tasks. It is a profound spiritual collision. If we're going to survive this, we need to stop looking for a manual and start looking for the messy, uncurated truth of what it actually means to stay human while someone else is coming apart. I'll read that again at the end, I promise.
Okay.
Number 1, there are no top tips that work for every caregiver.
Yeah. The self-help world would love for us to just take those tips, but yeah,
Yeah,
the
there
tip
aren't.
is there are no tips, really.
There's a really beautiful, I'm gonna read your words again because you say it so beautifully. The first thing we must acknowledge is the hubris of the listicle.
I knew
Caregiving
you
is
would
a
love that word.
bespoke so good. Caregiving is a bespoke garment of heritage, albeit often stitched with suffering and with love. It is sewn together from your family's specific history and the unique hardware of your situation.
Yeah.
Wow. My tip number 1 might be your quote, reason I threw the toaster. in, in the sacred space between I love you and I can't stand the sound of your breathing, there is no map.
Yeah.
There is only the messy, not Instagram perfect reality that is your specific living room or hospice space or caregiving room. If an expert's advice makes you feel like a failure, it is a bad fit. Return it for store credit. Your intuition is the only authority that matters.
Yes.
Number 1.
That's number 1, and I wanna just take a brief pause and say that's
Please.
everything in chapter 7 that I love, is
Oh, wow.
how do we understand our intuition? You have feeling safe
Yeah.
leads to clear access to your
Yep.
intuition.
Yep.
And
Thank
yes, we
you.
can talk later on how to create that safe space, but yes,
Thank
that
you.
line inspired me right there.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Number 2, the courage to express resentment in healthy ways.
Yes.
So,
This is actually maybe the top tip, really, is
yeah.
not just resentment, but also shame and guilt. So many people feel really guilty that they just don't want to take care of the person anymore. And it can become just overwhelming. And
Mhm.
talking about those feelings can often lighten them.
Yes.
Not with the person you're providing care to necessarily. This is a conversation with friends. And sometimes, yes, sometimes the person we're caring for needs to know this is really hard for me right now.
Yeah, and we could bring in, NVC, nonviolent communication,
Mm,
pretty well. I think I used it a couple of times with Lou. When I see you, doing this, I feel afraid, sad, and frustrated. My need for your cooperation is not being
yeah.
met. And then suddenly there's a two-way
Mm,
street. It's not just this one-way kind of drain out of me into the patient. It's really a two-way street. Like, hey, cooperate with me on
yeah.
this, and we'll both feel better. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to also, I would love some NVC on situations I'm often asked where couples or just family dynamics, loved one dynamics, where you're helping someone, but they're not, let's say they're eating too much sodium and they have congestive heart
Mm.
problems. And as the caregiver, it's like you could prepare every meal and you do all these things, and then all of a sudden, they just decide to have this one snack that sends them into 3 days of in more intense caregiving, So the NVC, what does that sound like?
For me, at first, I think it sounds like just talking to myself, like, wow, now that this is happening, how human of me to feel frustrated, exasperated, and anxious. My needs for order and cooperation, once again, listening are not being met. How human of me to feel this way.
Mhm.
I say this enough times and I start to feel kind of a rising tide of fullness of my own empathy. And once I feel full, I can then offer empathy to the poor soul for whom I might be caring, who is actually rebelling against what might serve them. How human of them to be doing that.
Mhm.
It's hard to watch. It's hard to be part of that dynamic, and also, we have very few tools, and self-empathy happens to be what I have found to be the most effective one.
Oh, it's beautiful. I often forget that one, and I go right
Yep.
into sort of what the caregiver can say to their loved one, and that
Yes.
self-empathy first, and then I understand that you ate a whole bag of popcorn at 10 p.m. with
Whole bag and
5,000.
10 p.m. have to be left out because 'cause they're both judgments.
Okay.
Shit.
Okay.
So it's
I noted.
I see that you ate the popcorn.
Mhm.
Upon seeing that, I felt sad, frustrated, and anxious. My needs for order, cooperation, and your own health, your safety
Yeah,
are not being met.
yeah,
Can
and
I please
fear. Could be
request?
fear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm afraid. And if you were talking to the other person, you would make the request, and if you were, of course, um, talking to yourself, which I would recommend doing first until the sentence becomes natural, just how human of me to feel this way right now. My God, how could they do that? How human of me. And then how human of them. When was the last time you snuck a snack that you knew wasn't good for you?
Mhm.
Number 3, presence over performance. If you are still here with us right now watching or listening, you know this already. Your body knows this. You're here to be reminded of this. There is no amount of you or me fixing in a situation of caregiving. I have made the mistake so many dozens of times. I'm not embarrassed. I'm not ashamed. I am just telling you the truth. I will continue to make this mistake because I so want to be of service. Fixing is not on the agenda here. Presence is on the agenda. Your quiet presence, your willingness to bear witness. And as Sierra says, we are obsessed with doing the meds, the bills, the frantic coordination of a life slowly unraveling. We act like air traffic controllers. But sometimes the plane just has to land. It isn't clear that you've been to flight school and are the pilot of this plane. The deepest gift you can offer is to bear witness. You can't fix aging. You can't solve a terminal diagnosis. You aren't a mechanic. You are a companion. And I'm talking to you if you are with a parent who has been very difficult or a sibling who has been very difficult and you're the only one. We feel you. We see you. Sometimes the most radical, wise thing you can do is just sit in the discomfort and say, wow, this is really hard. This is
Mhm.
horrible. I feel sad, angry, frustrated, lost, confused. My needs
Yeah.
for all these things are not being met: love, reciprocity, mutuality, care. How human of me to feel this way. Peace, you say, Sierra, isn't the absence of chaos. It's the ability to sit in the middle of it without needing to change it, to sit in the middle of the tangle of this tangle and
Mhm.
know that you
Mhm.
can't untangle it.
Exactly. Exactly. That's really the practice of meditation that gets us there, and even Tantra in Buddhism. And yesterday I received a long message from someone who's in the course for 12 weeks. And she said, "What do I say to my grandmother? She's in her 90s. We've had to put her in a home." And every phone conversation with her is, why can't I'm 95, why can't you just bring me home? This is so unfair. But she's having dementia, angry outbursts. And she said, "What do I do? Do I lie to her?" And I said, "Absolutely not. You just be with her and you acknowledge exactly what's happening. You just, it's that simple. You say, 'Wow, I understand. I would love to be able to bring you home. That's just not possible. And I'm also sad. I'm really frustrated. I'm angry too.'" And then there's this uncomfortable silence. And that's the part of being in the middle of it, not trying to change it, letting it be chaotic, and peace will pop up. It will flow through if you sit in that together long enough.
One of the most important things that I've noticed and noted to be helpful is actually to repeat back what the person is saying, similar to what we do with a child of about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, even 3.
Mhm.
Wow, you are frustrated.
Yeah.
You are sad.
Yeah.
You are
Mhm.
there and feeling really sad. And they'll say, yeah, and then they'll
Mhm.
add to it. And you just keep going like this for some time. That person will get off
Mhm.
of this conversation feeling seen. Even if there's nothing
Yes.
whatsoever that you can do about it, they have heard their own words spoken back to them in a way that has attention, care, presence. And that's
Presence.
sometimes the biggest gift that you can give in a situation that isn't changing, such as that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Number 4 is so perfect, this segue into this one. Sierra calls this precision advocacy, and I'm going to give an example. Let's say you're giving care. I'm sure that you might be right now, and you are feeling overwhelmed, exhausted, and exasperated, maybe even a little bit angry. And someone you love, someone in your family reaches out, and you sort of lash out, maybe in some way, in your way, and you say, "Oh, I just need help. I need help. Can you help me?" And that person on the other end of the line or on the other end of the conversation can't really know what to do. They're not in your shoes. They're not in the room. They're not handling the inflow of nurses, possibly doctors, possibly volunteers, possibly chaplains. They have no idea. So Sierra
Mm.
is suggesting precision advocacy. And it sounds like this. Why is it so hard to ask for help? Because we're afraid people will see the check engine light blinking on our souls. We think asking is a sign of collapse. But when you don't ask, you're actually denying someone else the chance to be of service. However, you must be a precision advocate. Don't say, "I need help." Fuck. People are terrified of doing the wrong thing. I'm terrified of doing the wrong thing. If somebody were to say that to me, I'd be so afraid. So say something like this, quote, "I need you to bring a rotisserie chicken to the house at 6 p.m. and not stay for more than 10 minutes." Unquote.
Perfect. That
It's
is so
amazing.
clear.
You're so clear. Boundaries are the distance at which I can love you and me simultaneously. You close that tip with. And I think that is just big medicine. I have offered care in several different settings: homes, hospice, my own house. Soon, my man is going to be having surgery and I'm going to need help. And this advocacy, this way of being so precise and so gentle is, this is exactly what I need. These 3
Mhm.
things. I need you to show up at this hour or thereabouts, and I need you to not stay for longer than X.
Basta. So easy because often then if you're not clear, there is this sometimes lingering resentment,
Right.
and we go back to the yes.
That's right. That's right. For those of you who are just joining us, I'm with Sierra Campbell of Nurture. She's one of my dearest friends for a very long time. She is also the founder of Nurture. It is one of the most important organizations I know of at this time. And we are going through 5 very radical shifts for the caregiver who is being told to just breathe and is tired of it. We're on number 5, and this will be posted to our Substack, so you'll be able to see it again. Number 5 is the sanctity of the B minus. Now, if you know me at all, a B minus is not okay. No, not for me.
No.
But at some point, you're right. We have to embrace the good enough. We are all just walking each other home, and frankly, some of us are stumbling. Side note, I know you know this already, Sierra, but my chaplaincy capstone thesis just got approved. And most of it is tales of my shortcomings and mistakes in caregiving scenarios and the learnings gleaned from these. So the B minus is
Mhm.
now a very real thing. And thankfully, we have your next quote derived from the work of Brene Brown. Perfectionism is just a fancy suit for shame. I'm going to say that
Yeah.
one more time. Perfectionism is just a fancy suit for shame. If this holds true, I'm just going to take a moment to say that my perfectionism is covering up the shame that I might one day feel if I screw this up. That is profound. And that
Mhm.
also is internalized capitalism and patriarchy, if I may.
Yeah, it
But I
is.
digress. If everyone is fed, and this is for you, the caregiver, if you're watching, okay? Ready?
Mhm.
This is our gift to you, Sierra's gift to you. If everyone is fed, safe, and you didn't end up on the evening news, you have succeeded today. If the house is a wreck,
Mhm.
but there was one moment of shared quiet, you've hit the jackpot. We are not looking for a gold star here. We are looking for a life lived with as much grace as the exhaustion of providing care to someone or many people allows. Thank you.
Thank you for getting through all of those. I feel like caregivers are the real heroes of our time.
Yes.
And without a meditation practice and a community, it can be really difficult to
Yeah.
provide care for another, even as a mother, but especially as a mother and for aging parents. Wow. We
Yeah.
absolutely must ask for help and be precise and know that it's okay to be precise. The people who
That's right.
really love you appreciate the precision. They want to know you only want them there for 10 minutes. And that when you have 2 hours, you're going to want to take the 2 hours. But people actually, yeah, we need each other. We are not meant to do this type of caregiving in this modern world alone.
I'm going to read the first
It's
paragraph again,
essential.
and then I'd like to go over the contents of the course, and hopefully, I'll have a little bit of a role to play in there as well. And this is for the folks who came late and the folks who heard this at the beginning. It's a way to bring a little bit of joy and feel the joy that is the undercurrent of this period in your life if you are giving care or even receiving care. The truth is, caregiving isn't a series of tasks. It's a profound spiritual collision. If we're going to survive this, we need to stop looking for a manual and start looking for the messy, uncurated truth of what it actually means to stay human while someone else is coming apart.
Yeah.
To that end,
Thank you for
yeah, course.
Thank you for rereading that.
It's the most important, I think. To that end, though, I would love to um, talk a little bit about the course. I'm so happy that I get to take it again. I'll be watching some of it live and some of it recorded due to my other Qigong course. But I'm so excited, and I would love for you to share with us, Sierra, about it. I have so many friends who are taking it too.
I'm excited. So we start January 28th. We meet in a large group every other week. And in the opposite weeks, there are small groups. And this is the magic, really, the best feedback we've had in the last 2.5 years with this course is the small group, because a lot comes up in 12 weeks. We are going deep into understanding grief, understanding how grief is moving, how it moves you in this life. Anything that's been kind of hidden or under a rock emotionally tends to come up, because when we explore end of life, it's really a deep exploration of the quality of our relationships. And really,
Wait,
it's a deepening.
can you just say that again? When we explore
Yeah.
end of life, it's a
It's
deep
a deep
exploration.
in
Oh,
the quality and the nature of your relationships.
wow.
Because what we have at the end of life are our relationships. A lot of people look at death and you think it's quite medical, right? Especially because so many deaths happen in a hospital. But the reality is, death is really relational. And that doesn't mean that we're going to scare you into thinking something bad is going to happen. No matter what happens, you'll be prepared, whether it's something that comes up in your own health, your neighbors, a loved one, an aging parent. In the course right now, we have a number of people in their 80s who are really contemplating and planning for their final chapters. We have people in their 20s. One thing I want everyone to complete in the 12 weeks is a living will. So, no matter where you are in your life, um, and this isn't about what if I died tomorrow. It's really a deep dive in how am I living my life now, and where and who and what are the relationships I want to deepen that would truly nurture my life. Um, of course, if anything did happen to you, I would want that will to be in place. It's not really about material goods as much as it is about your values. What do you value the most? And so many people want to immediately do this with their parent, their aging parent, because they want to know how can I be supportive to them? The reality is it's best to do it for yourself first. And then it will just flow. Often your parent will then come to you and say, "Oh, I've been thinking about this. I'd really like to finish this." For those who want to go beyond the 12 weeks, I've included this year an entire year of mentorship for those who want to
Wow.
become a death doula. I see so many sort of cookie cutter death doula courses right now, and I really wanted to create one with mentorship. So we take the momentum of the 12 weeks where we're meeting weekly, and we continue through 16 weeks. So we meet again for that last month every week. All of these are recorded, the large groups. And so for those who are offering volunteer services or creating a business in anything end of life, there's mentorship for the entire year. We'll meet
Wow.
at least once per month. And again, you need a community. Really, this work, um, it's necessary to fill your own cup. It really takes having, even if it's just one person or two people, or an online community of 30, 50, 100 people, it's going to enrich your life and your practice. And when you're serving others, it's necessary. I really did this work for about 20 years without a community until everyone started to be online more.
Mm,
And that's when I found more people who do similar work that I
mm.
could actually have a conversation with and they would get it. And, like, our
And to,
friends who aren't caregiving, who aren't working in a hospital or working in social work, they're just less likely to understand.
and to be fair, Sierra, to your credit, you did have and have had all this time pretty diligent practice of both meditation and asana, and that has
Mm.
carried you. And you are
Yeah.
an extraordinarily capable human for the very difficult childhood and circumstances that you endured, which are not the topic of this conversation, but have basically carried you, these practices through that, have carried you through that and into this work. And for whatever it's worth, I just want to say I really bless you and thank you for the work that you're doing because you have changed so many deaths around me for the positive. Personal friends whose parents
Mhm.
and siblings have died, and the ways in which you approach and care for people is so instructive, and I'm really, really grateful that I get to be in this life with you at this time, that I get to learn with you at this time, and be part of this year's cohort. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so happy you'll be with us, that you're in the course and
Yeah.
taking the course and also sharing in your experience. And I have a closing thought, if it's okay. I want to
Please,
share actually from Hold Nothing.
we have
And we
time,
brought
and
up,
we're also happy to take some questions. If you
yes.
are watching live and you'd like to ask some questions, please write a message. I'm going to monitor while Sierra reads.
So you mentioned childhood, and that's a place where we can sometimes find a lot of pain, a lot of difficulty, struggle, lack of confidence. And I love how vulnerable, first of all, Hold Nothing is, the book, how personal, how deeply vulnerable. But this chapter 7 on really trusting your intuition and sensing safety. But the big one I really love here is creating an altar for your child and your childhood.
Mm,
Elena is the queen of altars. They're in every little nook and cranny and corner and closet. I mean, there are little altars in closets in your home,
closets.
closet altars. And this practice of making an altar to your child is so that you have a place in your home to come back to and remember the joy of being a child
And to be
and that
clear,
abundance
it's
of
to your
energy.
childhood self, not your actual child. You don't have to have a child
Yes.
if you're watching. It's really to find a picture of yourself as a child in any stage of your childhood, maybe even particularly in one that was extra challenging in your understanding, and make a little altar with a little, a little tiny bouquet of flowers, or along with the picture, maybe a little saying that you want to print and cut out and place it there to remind you. Please continue, Sierra.
So this is in this section. This is on really hearing your own intuition, and this really comes into play. Ye- And I know you feel it in times when you're not feeling well or you might be sick, and there are all these opinions that can come in. But I love how you write the voice of truth, love, silence, tenderness, and nurturance. We all need this from deep within ourselves. Have you found this voice within you? When is that voice most available?
Mm.
And this is
Weirdly,
about overcoming doubt. What?
weirdly, I find that voice is most available after I've done an hour or two of volunteering and spending time with
Yeah.
someone who's dying. How weird
Yeah.
is that?
It's presence. You know, when you're sitting with someone who's dying, it's evident there's no fixing, there's no healing. It's just being with what is. And it brings your full presence into your body, into the room. And there's even a phenomenon that I have seen with death. It's that we actually come home to our body before we die. You see this in hospice where someone has so much energy all of a sudden. Sometimes they'll even
Yes.
sit up and families will think, "Oh my god, they're getting better."
Yeah.
Oh my, and oh my god, we should maybe feed them, and oh wow. And the reality is I've come to see that and know that as, wow, they're really coming home to this body that's been home to say goodbye fully with the people in the room, with themselves. It's such a powerful moment. And they could still linger in their body after that, but they're dissolving.
It's so beautiful to watch that process. I've seen it so many times.
Yeah.
As I'm sitting here, Sierra, there's a paperweight in the windowsill, and a friend of mine sent me the bulb. It was a tiny little bulb, this big. She said, put it into um, some dirt into a small bowl and keep it watered on the underside. Okay. The paperweight has now blossomed. It's about maybe a foot and a half tall.
Mhm.
I'm staring at it right now, like 5 or 6 white blossoms. I'm just starting to get the scent. As you were talking just now about this resurgence into the body right before somebody passes, one arm of the paperweight, one long leaf went totally died, like just went and folded
Wow.
over under the weight of her own presence. And then another leaf, I watched it, went to grow another blossom.
Incredible.
Oh my God.
Paperweights are the best, especially for elders at home alone.
Yeah.
It's really wild. When you work with lots of elders or people that are in transition like this and end of life, they continue to visit. So I worked with this woman for 7 years. I had a home health care company, and her name's Mrs. Clabbers, and her entire apartment was filled with paperweights.
Wow.
7 years, and she would say, "When you see a paperweight, that's me."
I'm gonna go get it
Here
now.
she is. Yeah,
I'm
let's
getting it
see it.
right now.
And she would also say, "This is the only thing I have the energy to grow. I just put the bulb in and these flowers bloom."
Okay. So as I
Look
was
at
sitting and
that.
you were talking,
Stunning.
this one dropped onto the windowsill and this one came up and this one is about to bloom. You can't make it up. And this one is just blooming. Isn't that so beautiful?
And
She
that's
inspired me to
it's
wear
so
white today.
beautiful.
Gosh.
I love it.
Sierra, I'm not seeing any questions in the comments, but I would love to make sure that we have a link for folks who would like to join us in the course. Can you say it
Yes.
out loud, spell it out? I'll put it into the comments and I'll make sure that it's in the post after this in which this video will appear.
Yes, just go to choosenurture.com, and on the top you'll see the path to compassionate presence.
Okay. So the name of the course is The Path to Compassionate Presence. And this is a course for folks who would like to learn how to presence the dying, how to become more comfortable with the concept overall, and definitely by the end of the course to have a living will in place. In case I die, someone can open up my computer. There is a living will right on the front, right on the desktop of my computer. Um, don't be alarmed by this, guys. Don't be afraid. This is probably the kindest thing you can do for the people that you love to help them know what's the playlist if there is an extended time of your dying. What is the
Yeah.
vibe that you want in the room? If there is a
Mhm.
scent that you want in the room, the people that you want in the room. It's not just about where the money is going and where the blah, blah, blah. It's really about what you want when you die, if you have the time to determine. And
Mhm.
it's
And
a
this
really,
is this
it's
is
a gift.
it's also about the skills and coming alongside others. We have Well, everyone is a caregiver at some point in their life, and
Right.
there are many people in this course already who are doing some incredible caregiving with life partners, with parents, with children who have chronic and
Mm.
terminal diagnosis. It's a group that also has a lot of experience. There's a lot of shared learning. And it's also for those who want to go beyond the 12 weeks. It's completely included. Become a death doula, have support, mentorship for your practice, and possibly even your business.
Beautiful. And is there any last thought that you would like to offer to those of us who are watching and interested and maybe a little bit afraid and maybe also really excited to finally be part of this conversation in an accessible way? Any final thoughts?
I was thinking a lot before we started as I was looking at chapter 7 on doubt and the courage that it takes. Sometimes I can forget the courage of when you're volunteering in hospice and you're going to visit your first family, your first patient. You don't know often even their name. And there's this sense of not knowing, right? It doesn't matter. I have 30 years experience. I still walk into someone's house that I've never met before. I don't know. And there's a part of me that feels like an imposter. It's like, how could I possibly be helpful? Right? There's some information, education. But then in the first 5 minutes, all of that just dissolves. But my God, is that doubt so real? And sometimes it can be quite crippling, And so yeah. So I just want to encourage anyone who's in that position of caregiver
Mm,
and doubting their ability to be helpful and trying really hard, maybe to step back from the trying and just be present with what is. And I'm so grateful we went through those 5 shifts, not tips, but these experiences, these perspectives on caregiving. So the
thank you.
doubt, right? It's real. It's real for all of us, and it's something that we talk a lot about in the 12 weeks. So if
And
you're doubting, is this for me?
how human of you to feel it
Yeah, and name it.
and name it. I'm going to
Yeah.
read that paragraph one last time for those who have just joined. A couple of dear friends just came on. The truth is, caregiving isn't a series of tasks. It's a profound spiritual collision. If we're going to survive this, we need to stop looking for a manual and start looking for the messy, uncurated truth of what it actually means to stay human while someone else is coming apart. I'd like to close with a little moment of regulation for all of us. This is something that we can all use. It's your breathing. And if you'd like, you can start by breathing in for about 4 counts, letting your eyes settle on a point on the floor, but keep them open so that you have some reference point in the room. And then exhale for 4, 5, or 6 counts, however long your body is comfortable exhaling. We'll do that a couple more times together, feeling your own presence, your own attention, the way in which your nervous system is actually regulating, maybe for the first time today, and feeling in the presence of this shared field that we are in right now, more than 100 of us, the presence of the truth. So much is happening. And this tending to the people who need tending to ourselves so that we can do so, this we can do. One more breath here. Slightly longer exhalation if you can. And then you can close your eyes and just feel the ground beneath you. Feel whether it's your feet or your seat. Feel the steadiness and the settledness as a gift from the earth a gift from Source, a gift. You can bring your hands to Gasho if this calls to you. Earlier today, I was watching the Plum Village community giving a presentation, and Brother Fapu came on and reminded us that even now, even in this environment of so much, we can and must generate joy. And joy is not a big smile and a perfect something. Joy is actually full attention on the whole cosmos in your cup of tea. Joy is feeling your feet on the ground. Joy is giving an extra moment to a child or an elder. Joy is offering yourself 3 deep breaths. Generate joy. Don't forget. Thank you for your practice. May
Thank
all
you, Elena.
beings be happy and free. May all beings be happy and free. May all beings be happy and free.
And may my thoughts, my actions, my behavior contribute to that freedom of all beings.
Thank you, my friend, my sister. I love you.
Thank you. Love you.
See you very soon.
I'll see you on the 28th.